guess that I triumphed, seeing as I'm still here,
Yeah.
But literally during the encounter, it was able to stop me from speaking. I couldn't
My
speak
goodness.
at all. But I triumphed over the encounter through a very, very intense prayer that I was saying repeatedly in my head. And eventually it dropped me from midair and I landed back on my bed. And it vanished.
Has the entity or the demon since then tried to attack you, or have you been demonic free?
It's interesting, and this may sound very strange, but no, I haven't been under attack in that way again. I had passed my test, if you like, my test of faith. But I have seen lower entities and demonic entities before around other people, actually. And occasionally in my work, I may have to assist someone that's dealing with something on that level. But no, I'm no longer under attack.
How would you assist someone who, let's say somebody contacts you for assistance and they say, Cher, things in my life are just going wrong. Something is wrong. I don't understand it. You do what you do, and you're able to understand that this person is under, if I'll use the expression, psychic attack. How can you help that person?
Well, I'll give you an example. I have clients occasionally that come to me. I have one who springs to mind specifically who's got a husband who has had periodic, if you like, not attacks necessarily, but some may even call it possession, which is quite frightening. But his wife, who is a client of mine, experiences him when he is under this influence, so to speak, and everything about him changes, his voice, everything. But it only happens on rare occasions. And on the rare occasions it's happened, he threatens to attack her, and she's scared for her life. You see, she's had to leave the house with her children.
Oh, heavens.
But one of my helpers gave me some very specific instructions on a particular prayer technique, and also a certain mixture of herbs, which I gave to her to burn in the house. And since she's done that, it hasn't happened.
Isn't that wonderful?
So she's safe, you see. Yeah.
When you're looking at somebody, do you see the auric field, or do you see how do you see people?
It depends. I can look at someone and maybe see colors. I can look at someone and see flashes of light around them. Or sometimes, and can be quite disturbing, I can look at someone and I can see if they've aborted a baby. I can see if they're about to have a baby. It could be anything, Rob, anything at all. Or I have had the odd experience where I've seen demons around a person, literally feeding off their energy field. It could be anything.
That must be very very unsettling for you. And how do you tell the people?
Extremely.
How do you tell the person that, excuse me, I know what their problem is. You've got demons around you.
I don't always tell them. If they come to me for help, then they're ready. But I don't always tell them, especially if I may be out somewhere having dinner or introduced to somebody socially. I don't tell them unless I'm given a prompt to, psychically, unless I'm told. That's happened before too, where I've literally, gone to somebody at a party and given them a very profound message, and it's changed their life, and they've become lifelong clients and friends of mine.
Have you ever been out somewhere and seen something that is going to be in a person's path, or you see something that is going to happen to them very catastrophic, and have you ever gone, hey, I've got to tell you this, you may not believe me, but...
Yes, I have. I'll give you a very, very quick example. It was a mechanic who was fixing my car, actually. And just as I'd taken my car to him and I was standing discussing prices or whatever with him, I literally, in a flash vision in my head, I saw a black car, and I was shown that there was something very precious in the car. So I didn't know what it was, but something very precious to him. And I saw the car burst into flames. And I said to him, this is going to sound very crazy, because he didn't know what I did for a living or what had happened to me or anything like that. And I said to him, I've seen this very sleek black car, which I believe must be yours, and there's something very precious that you keep in there, and I've seen your car burst into flames. And I said to him that he must take whatever is precious out of the car and not drive it, you see. And he was very shaken up, and he said, yes, that's my car. I have a black car. And he said that his mother had died, and what she had left him, the trinket, he always kept in the car with him. The car was his pride and joy. And so I just left it at that. And then he called me a short while later, and he was very, very distressed. And some arsonists had set fire to his car, but he listened to the message I gave him. He took out his mother's trinket, and so he still has it.
Most of us have heard, Cher, the term of the dark night of the soul. For you, it seems there were times of emotional and mental trial involving these psychic attacks and fights. Now, what did you learn from your experiences? And how can you share your lessons with our listeners?
I think for me, I believe, Rob, that everybody's journey is unique. I think we're all here to travel towards to the divine, and that has to be taken by the inner path. But for me, the tests that I had were very dramatic, and I believe that they were certainly tests of faith, so that these things happening to me, I had to become strengthened to overcome so that I could assist others dealing with similar situations. And there are lots of people out there dealing with these things. I know there are lots of TV programs on about haunted things, and people get excited. That's all fine. But what worries me is that even on these programs, there is nothing there as a helpline or even a hint to help someone who's truly dealing with something like that. Not for entertainment purposes, but someone in real life who's dealing with that.
You know, I have a friend of mine, his name is Dr. David Gruder. He's a psychologist, and we did a show on children and the paranormal, how there's a couple of shows out there that feature children who make it more like a game. And you know what? I've always believed that they're playing with fire. They don't know what they're getting into. And like you said, there's no helpline for them. There's no way. No. Because the media it's got to be exciting, or else they're not going to air it.
This is true. I agree, Rob, wholeheartedly. I mean, there is the light side, if you like. I mean, I've had so many people come to me over the years that say that, they have a special spirit guide or guardian angel, but sometimes they tell them rude jokes and swear at them. And of course, it's not a spirit guide. It's a naughty entity that's feeding off their energy field. But then there's the serious side where somebody may do a Ouija board, somebody may take psychedelic drugs, and they lift the veil. And if they happen to invite in lower entities, it's horrific. People can end up in asylums and things, It's very, very frightening for people.
Ouija boards, do you think they should be banned from being sold in regular stores?
You see, it's one of those things. It's swings and roundabouts, because even if they were, people can do this with pieces of paper at home. It doesn't have to be something you buy from a store. It's the point of experimenting. If people don't have a spiritual anchor, it's no safer than leaving your front door wide open at night. Anybody could walk in. It could be an angel, or it could be a lunatic, demon, a dangerous person.
You also talked about your mystical moments of oneness. Can you explain what this means, Cher?
Describing the ineffable is certainly a challenge, but I can only describe it, Rob, as literally being in the presence of God. That's the only way I can describe it, where it is so utterly blissful, the union, that I literally seem to feel my body dissolve until it's no more, and I'm just completely at one with the divine. And when this first happened to me, I thought that I was dying completely, but I felt a willing participant. It was indescribable bliss. And periodically these things happen to me in very deep states of meditation. essentially, regardless of the work that I do and how it may be seen, I love God, and I'm very religious, even though I wouldn't class myself as part of any religion.
It's funny because I've spoken to people who are very religious. They believe in the Holy Ghost. They believe in what I call the paranormal aspect of religion, and yet they don't believe outside of that box.
But it's frightening for people. I think it's frightening for everybody. It was frightening for me, but I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
It's not like I was seeking consciously. These things happened to me, and I had to find a way to live with them. But I am deeply religious. I love God,
Sure.
and it is my desire to live in divine will. But I do not subscribe to any particular religion at all. I just love God, and I pray every day.
You know what? That's my philosophy. You know, God is within each and every one of us. I get up in the morning and I say a prayer. I go to bed every night and I say a prayer. You know,
Rob, I do exactly the same thing. I do just that, exactly the same thing.
Tell me, what is your outlook on karma?
I do feel, because of the experiences that I've had, that and I've been shown glimpses of past lives of many people, including myself. I do believe that some of us we're all traveling here on Earth. None of us are here permanently, of course. You know, we come and we go.
Yeah.
But regardless of what faith we may belong to as well, you know, we're all in the same boat as we travel in the human stream. But I feel that with karma, I consider it personally a little bit like coming into the world with a debt that you didn't know that you had. And that debt has to be, if you like, balanced. And this is the troughs and the trials and the triumphs that we're all contending with on a daily basis, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and certainly in our relationships, whether it's a relationship with our family or with God.
Goes right back to the old saying, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or as they say in karma, what goes around.
You've got it in one. Yeah,
exactly.
You see, the teachings they're put out so simply that people miss it.
Well, that's it. Because if it's too simple, it can't be right. But Exo Nation, life is simple. We complicate it. Cher, please stand by. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exo Nation, Cher Chevalier is our special guest. She is the author of a very exciting book. It's entitled The Hidden Secrets of a Modern Seer, www.spiritualadvisor.co.uk. Cher and I will be back on the other side of this break as we do our wrap-up for tonight here in the X Zone. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com.
MATSTEIN.com.